Hello, my beautiful lovelies. This is Miss Ively here. Happy 4th of July. It is now Saturday, the 4th, 2020. A day in which the United States celebrates freedom. Kind of ironic, don't you think? Yeah. I do believe that spiritually we are all still in bondage, but we have a beautiful Redeemer who can set us all free. Truly, all you need to do is pray, have faith, and you will see how life is going to start slowly turning around for you. Alright, so with that being said, something is about to turn around for someone because we are announcing the winner of the first impromptu giveaway that I hosted a few days ago, about a week ago I would say. And I have decided that the person who shared a story about what they would do with this box of goodies really hit home to me, especially that I have a little boy, and I've spent a lot of time with children, even as a child myself, my entire life. In our home, I grew up, or should I say I was born into a family where there was always children around me, and children gravitated to me. I was always able to just relate to kids on their level. I've actually watched, and I'm not exaggerating, I've watched hundreds of children be born in my lifetime. A lot. And many of them I've changed their little diapers and fed them as newborns. I've taken care of children of all types of learning abilities, and even in grammar school I was always pulled out of my classroom, even as early as the 3rd, 4th grade, to help with children who were adjacent to the main building of the school, to help with them because they had, their learning capabilities were a little bit different than the rest of us. And at a very early age, I learned to work with children who were paraplegic. I don't know if that's the right term, but that's the term I'm using. I have worked with children with Down syndrome. I've worked with children who are autistic at a very early age. So when I was 7 years old, I thought I was going to become a teacher. That was my goal in life, to become a teacher, because I was always with kids, and kids always listened to me, and they loved when I would sing. Even though Miss Ively can't hold a tune, I would tell stories to them, and I would speak to them in a way that they can understand. You know, parents have this tendency of talking down to children, or talking to them as though they're little mini adults. No. When I had my son, let me tell you a little story about my child. Now, I am impressed with every child I have ever come across. Their ability to learn, their ability to grasp information, the way they start figuring out that they have little hands and fingers and toes, and when they're touching their little nose and their ears, and they're fascinated with everything that they're learning. It is so beautiful to witness that. So every single child that I've ever come across, to me, they are impressive, they are beautiful, they are just so special. I say that because of what I'm about to say about my kid. When my son started walking at 7 months, 7.5 months, I actually started working at 7 months. That's what my mama says, and she's always been saying that. She said I did everything early. Apparently, my son followed suit. By the time he was 9 months, he had several word sentences in his vocabulary. No exaggeration. Obviously in baby talk, but he was able to enunciate the pronunciation of many words. Most kids, even at the age of 1, they may have 2-word sentences. My son already developed that at 9 months. If I were to put my son in front of the camera, he would have gone viral all over the world. But no, I don't care for what the world thinks, or to showcase my child to get likes or whatnot. No offense to anyone else who does that. I'm just saying that's my personal preference. You will never see a picture of my child anywhere on any part of the internet world. Never, ever, ever, because the world can be cruel. Anyway, by the time he was a year old, he started asking very philosophical questions. I'm not lying. It became a shock to me because I wasn't prepared for the things that he wanted to ask. But of course, I would speak to him about the things that he was just so wanting to learn about in a way that he can understand. And as he grew older, I started to develop different ways of explaining things to him, especially when he had to learn things at school that he brought home and had questions. I would break it down to him based on his ability, his way of being able to grasp information. And as he got older, I became more and more, I've always been open with my child. Obviously, there are things that you don't tell a 1-year-old or a 5-year-old or a 7-year-old or a 9-year-old. You don't do that. I don't know what the problem is with parents wanting their kids to grow quickly and be independent so quickly, and just stop. They treat their kids as mini adults. They even dress them as mini adults. What? No. And then you wake up one morning, they're a teenager. And you're wishing and wanting to go back to the days when they were so young. Yeah, but you were such in a rush to make them grow up fast, to make them independent. No, boo-boo. Let a child be a child for as long as they can be. Let that innocence pervade their being for as long as you can. Because once they become an adult, that's it. You are an adult far longer than you are a child. You know? Let your kids be kids. I have a lot of parents, and I just because I have one child doesn't mean I don't know much about kids. I've been around kids since I was born. Kids of all walks of life, all, learning abilities and challenges, even physical challenges. I've been around children, a lot. And I've seen them grow. I've seen them become their own individual, beautiful beings. And it's just amazing. And so, when you talk to your kids, make sure that you talk to them at a level that they can understand. Don't talk down to them. Don't tell them because I said so. Break it down to them and explain it. My son knows my mistakes. Not all of them. There are some little things my son don't need to know. You know what I'm saying? But my mistakes, I break it down to him, explain to him why I give him the advice that I do. And everything that I have said has come. He's seen it for himself. And I tell him, it's like, when I give you advice, it's not to tell you what to do. It's because where you're going, I'm already coming back from. I already know every scenario. So when my son asks a question, I give him every scenario possible. So he's been equipped to deal with life from a very early age because I've taught him that. And I will continue to teach him as I see his ability and his development to grow and change. I grow and change along with him, and I break certain things down. And there are times when I'm like, listen, you're old enough to understand this now, and then I say this. You're old enough to understand that now, and I say that. I break life down to him. And when my son speaks, ooh, he surprises me. I'm like, wow, are you sure you're my kid? Because, wow. And he's not a chatty like I am. He's a complete polar opposite of his mama. My son, like he says, I only speak when I need to speak. If I have something important to say, then I will say it. He follows no one, never has followed anyone. As a matter of fact, everyone follows him. And he could care less what anybody else is doing. And he's still that kid, even in high school, now that he's in high school. In the middle of all the crowded teens, he will stop. Because his school is far, so I take him to school. He will turn around, blow kisses, say goodbye and I love you in front of everybody. He don't give a damn. Why is that, people? Many of you haven't experienced that, have you? Well, one, it has to do with who the child is. I can't take all the credit. That's just his personality. That's just who he is. But also because I allowed him to speak his mind to a certain degree, of course. I am not his friend. I am his mother. So he has to respect me in that way. You understand? We're not our children's friends. Now, unless they're adults and everything, then yeah, the relationship obviously changes. But when they're under your jurisdiction and your responsibility as minors, no, you are not their friend, boo-boo. Stop trying to be cool. Your days of being cool are over, boo-boo. You can be cool here in the crafting world, though. I invite you to be cool here because you are so absolutely awesome. But he made it easy for me to be a mom, is, basically what I can say. So, allow your children to have an opinion to a certain degree. Don't lean too much towards too much discipline, and don't lean towards too much allowing them to be independent. You can't. Children have to have rules and regulations. They need to have discipline. But you need to have a really nice balance. You can't say no to everything. You say no to everything, you add that discipline every single day of their lives, and you're strict about certain things in the household. Guess what? They're going to rebel against you and do the very thing you don't want them to do. I have yet to have an issue with my son. Knock on wood. God bless him. I hope that he continues to be the young man that he is and becomes a beautiful adult man who will be responsible and hold on to his morals and values. So with that being said, not exactly what I wanted to talk about today. I don't know how I got to that point. But, again, messages are out there for anyone who needs it. So, the more important aspect of this video is the giveaway. Oh, right. That's why I got into the whole children thing. Because the winner was talking about her classroom. That's why we started talking about kids. Almost forgot about that. Yes, so who is the winner of this really pretty box? Who will use it, put it to good use, and share it with others and give them just a little bit of extra impact of positivity in their life? Right now, schools are in the stage of whether or not they're going to reopen in September. But even so, we should still prepare, right? I personally will not be sending my child. They're going to have to fight me, take me to court, whatever the case may be, but I am not sending. No one can guarantee that my son will be safe at school. Nope. How many of you, let me ask you that question, how many of you actually want to send your kids when September starts, considering the numbers are still rising of coronavirus cases? Anyway, the beautiful, beautiful Griffin girl wins this beautiful little box of goodies. Miss Griffin girl, I appreciate that you're not thinking about yourself, that you're thinking about the little girls in your classroom, that they need inspiration to visually be able to see themselves in any part of their lives. I appreciate that you want to give them that experience, an experience that so many have never had in their own childhood. So thank you for sharing that story, and I want to say thank you to everyone who has shared their story. Don't worry, we will have more giveaways where you might be chosen to also impact the little children in your lives. Alright, my beautiful lovelies, let's please share in the comments below a huge congratulations to Griffin Girl, who is receiving my little first impromptu giveaway. This will be mailed out next week. So Griffin Girl, please send your shipping address. Please either email me at beinspired@ivelycreations.com or just DM me on Instagram at Ively Creations. Congratulations, my dear. Everyone, take care, and we shall see each other soon. Bye.